so often we keep hearing about people betting on themselves, but I also love, as a woman of color, that you took that leap and you bet on yourself. And not just a woman of color, but also a mom. So how was that?
Yes. So my dad loves to brag that I'm the first entrepreneur in the family. He was the first to go to college. And then I took it a step further. I got my master's and then started a business. So I think it's really cool to take that step back every once in a while and be like, oh, wow, this is huge. This is bigger than I give myself credit for sometimes. And actually, transparently, at the beginning of 2020, I had a miscarriage. And that was also a big catalyst for this. I felt like I was totally out of control of my life. And I just wanted to do something that was just mine, take some of that power back. And so then the business became my baby for a little while. And then I had my son, Jack, in the fall of 2022. And he's flipped everything upside down in the best way possible. And I'm still, 18 months later, learning how to balance both things. But we're getting there slowly but surely.
So I love how you talk just about the transitions and the seasons of life too, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, because that's so important because things still have to keep moving. Right. Yes. And you decided that you were going to not just make up your mind and do something, but that you also wanted to own something. Yes. And so what is it from your background that helps you decide that, you know what, I'm going to just put my foot forward and just do this thing?
I have always been a very independent person. And I think my parents, sometimes they were scared of that. But they very much fostered that in me. They were always letting me do my own thing, make my own choices. I moved from Atlanta to North Carolina, 5 hours away from home for school, and built my own community of friends and met my husband and have done a lot of things where when I took that independent step and branched out on my own, only good things happen. Like, sure, I learned some lessons along the way, and there are things that I maybe would do differently, but I always learned so much about myself in the process. So that took some of the fear out of it for me.
And then the other thing that I also like that you shared is that you built a client list like right away. So what do you think in 2020 motivated and inspired people to say, you know what, I want to do video production. I want to do some podcast production. What do you think spurred that?
Yeah, so I think people were looking for connection. They wanted to build a community. They wanted to be able to connect with people without having an in-person component to it, where they might have been hosting events or they might have been meeting up one-on-one with people for coffee. Instead, they were inviting them, hey, I have a podcast. Let's have a conversation about you and your background. So it became a relationship building tool for the hosts themselves and the business owner themselves. But then they're also creating this resource where this person's bringing all their expertise to the table as well. So people were looking for that connection. They were looking to build their platforms. And I think at that time, podcasts were definitely in the beginning of a new upswing. So that was really cool to be a part of.